Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Prajanarandana. Yashodanandana Prajanarandana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Vihari. Sri Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Lacey, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Guri Vaishnava Ki, Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki, Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki, Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki, Grantara Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki, Bolo Sri Sri Krishna Baldao Ki, Jai Gau Premanandi. All glories to the Samudra. All glories to the Samudra. All glories to the Samudra. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. So reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Vrindavan, we're also in Canto 10, but much behind you guys. So this is chapter 74, the deliverance of Shishupal. Text number 16 and 17. Which one's on the board? 17. Okay, 16 I'll read.
Hare Krishna. So today we'll welcome His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu. We are very fortunate to have him amongst us. His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu is from Los Angeles, California, and he joined in 1969 in Boulder, Colorado, and he met Srila Prabhupada the following year, in 1970, where he got initiated in Los Angeles. Soon after that, Prabhuji was sent to Dallas to open a temple. Like yesterday, I was talking to Sri Nitai Prabhu, how he struggled over here when he first came. So Prabhuji, in a foreign land, but nobody knows, they opened the first temple in Dallas. Then he went to Houston. He supported that congregation. Then he was the president of Portland, Oregon, for nearly 8 years. And after that, he was in Miami. He was preaching there. Then he was called to Colombia. Prabhuji speaks fluent Spanish, so he preached in Colombia in Spanish for 5 years. Then it so happened that in 1984 he was visiting Vrindavan for Vrindavan festival, and that became his permanent visit. So since 1984 till today, almost 40 years, he's residing in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki. So he was also appointed as a president of Sri Vrindavan Dham for 3 years. And Baba Madhav Das approached him to do restoration work for Vrindakund. So he took up Vrindakund project by his heart, and he, with the help of others, installed a very beautiful GD of Sri Vrindadevi, that's in Nandagaon, and a beautiful Vrindakund temple. I don't know how many of you have been there. And he also was a part of renovating Sri Sanatana Goswami Samadhi next to Madan Mohan Mandir. He was a part of Yamuna cleaning project and so many other things. But most importantly, he is known for his parikrama. Whoever goes to Vrindavan, Dinabandhu Prabhu takes them on parikrama. That's why everybody knows him. He's called the parikrama guru. He's called Baba. So he knows every intricate of Vrindavan. I hope that we get to hear a little bit of Vrindavan pastimes today also. And we welcome him by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! This is Dinabandhu Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki. So text number 16. Ayajayan Maharajam Yajaka Deva Varchasa Rajasuyena Vidivat Prachetasam Iva Maraha. The priests, as powerful as gods, perform the Rajasuya sacrifice for King Yudhisthira in accordance with the Vedic injunctions, just as the demigods had previously performed it for Varuna. So text number 17. Sutye Hani Avani Palo Yajakan Sadasas Patin Apujayan Mahabhagan Yata Vatsu Samhahita Sutye Hanyavani Palo Yajakan Sadasaspatin Apujayan Mahabhagan Yatavatsu Samahita Sutye Hanyavani Palo Yajakan Sadasaspatin Apujayan Mahabhagan Yatavatsu Samahita Sutye Hanyavani Palo Yajakan Sadasaspatin Apujayan Mahabhagan Yatavatsu Samahita Ladies? Sutye of extracting the soma juice. Ahani on the day of Ani Palaha, the king. Yajakan, the sacrificers. Sadasaha of the assembly. Patin, the leaders. Apujayat, worshipped. Mahabhagan, greatly exalted. Yatavat, correctly. Susamahita, with careful attention. On the day of extracting the soma juice, King Yudhisthira properly and very attentively worshipped the priests and the most exalted personalities of the assembly. Translation, please repeat. On the day of extracting the soma juice, King Yudhisthira properly and very attentively worshipped the priests and the most exalted personalities of the assembly. By the followers of His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna, according to the Vedic system, whenever there is an arrangement for sacrifice, the members participating in the sacrifice are offered the juice of the soma plant. The juice of the soma plant is a kind of life-giving beverage. On the day of extracting the soma juice, King Yudhisthira very respectfully received the special priest who had been engaged to detect any mistake in the formalities of sacrificial procedure. The idea is that the Vedic mantras must be enunciated perfectly and chanted with a proper accent. If the priests who are engaged in this business commit any mistake, the checker or referee priest immediately corrects the procedure, and thus the ritualistic performances are perfectly executed. Unless it is perfectly executed, a sacrifice cannot yield the desired results. In this age of Kali, there is no such learned brahmanas or priest available. Therefore, all such sacrifices are forbidden. The only sacrifice recommended in the Shastras is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu vaja patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Therefore I offer my humble obeisances at his lotus feet. So here in this chapter, this is one of the most famous pastimes in Mahabharata. Everybody knows this pastime. So Yudhisthira Maharaj, he was to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. So here is described that for those partaking in the sacrifice, they have to drink the somaras, which Prabhupada describes as a life-giving beverage. Generally, we like to take intoxicating beverages and we become engaged in sinful activities. But this type of a beverage enlivens us and encourages us to perform spiritual activities like this sacrifice that they're about to perform. So I have no idea what soma is. I don't know if it still exists on this planet. Nobody's ever showed me a soma plant. But in Dwarka, you can see there's a place called the Sunset Point, where the last rays of the sun touch the holy shores of Bharatvarsh. And on the road, on both sides, they had these big, huge stones with a round depression in them. That obviously, whatever this shoma was, they ground it and extracted the juice in these stones. So those stones are still there. So it must have existed at some time. So anyway, to perform sacrifices, the soma juice was necessary. And then here it says that Maharaj Yudhishthira, he welcomed the referee priest very respectfully. Because all the Vedic sacrifices, they have to be performed very perfectly. Therefore, there was one, Prabhupada says, sometimes checker, sometimes referee priest, who would, they would chant wrong, he would stop it. They did something wrong, he would stop it, and they would do it all over again. Because things have to be done very perfectly for the sacrifice to produce any result. Just like there was one fellow, we read earlier in Srimad-Bhagavatam, named Twastra. And he was angry with Indra. So he wanted to create a demon to kill Indra. So he was making a sacrifice. Now in Sanskrit, ordinarily the, possessive tense is created by adding asya. Technically, we should say Krishnasya bhakti. But Sanskrit allows us to join the two words together. We say Krishna bhakti, the bhakti of Krishna. So we say Krishna bhakti. Technically, it should be Krishnasya bhakti. So, should be Indrasya Shatru. That he chanted Indra Shatru. So he meant Indra Shatru, the enemy of Indra. But the pause was too long. You probably won't even understand, but this was just a tiny little point in Sanskrit. He paused too long. He said, Indra, Shatru. So, just like we say, Arjun, the photographer. So, like that, he created that Indra became the enemy of the demigod he was trying to create in this sacrifice, or the personality, rather, I should say, he was trying to create in this sacrifice. Just by tiny little mistakes, just a pause too long. Indra Shatru, he says Indra Shatru. They say Indra Shatru, so Indra became the enemy of the personality that he was creating. So we saw that his sacrifice was bifal, unsuccessful. Indra killed that Vitrasura who was created from the sacrifice. So all the sacrifices, they have to be done very, very carefully. This tiny mistake, even you probably didn't understand the mistake in this sacrifice. But it was, so one referee priest was there. So Prabhupada points out in this age of, this fallen age of Kali, there's no such priest available who can understand whether the sacrifice is going perfect or not. To get the ingredients is very difficult. We can't even get Shud Dalda, so what to speak of Shud Ghee? How are we going to get for the sacrifice? And the kings used to do these sacrifices, they would give so much money in charity. Now we have who can spend so much money to satisfy everyone, and tons of ghee were required for the sacrifice. And we can't even get pure dalda, so what to speak of pure ghee? Where will we get? So it's very difficult to do these sacrifices in this age of Kali. Therefore, we have one verse in Srimad-Bhagavatam, Kritya yad dhyayato Vishnu, tretayam yajato mukhai, dvaparayam paricharyam kalo tad hari kirtanat. So this verse says, Krite is another way of saying Satyug. Krite Yadhyayato. And Satyug, the people live for 1 lakh of years. It's written in Shastra, 1 lakh of years. So 50,000 years they would perform their duties according to Varna and Ashram. And then 50,000 years they would spend in meditation. Dhyato, dhyan. So we can't even sit for a few minutes. We see in the Bhagavatam class, everyone is nodding out like this. So even a few minutes we can't sit. So how will we perform a deep meditation? And our lives are very short. In Treta Yuga, Yajato Makai, the kings, like I said, they would do costly sacrifices very, very reverently and very, very perfectly. So, as we described, that's very difficult in this Kali Yuga. In, what was it? Dwapar Yuga, Paricharayam, by worshipping the Murti of the Lord, the Sri Vigraha. And they would build big, big temples of Sangamar, Patra, and marble, and so many things, and coated with gold, and they would have very beautiful deities with real gold jewelry and diamonds and rubies. And we saw all the invaders came, smashed our temples, looted all the jewelry and everything. Even now in Kali Yuga, we read, sometimes the police, they caught, even the pujari was stealing the jewelry of the deity. So this is also very difficult. And Prabhupada told us, don't put real gold and silver just to attract thieves. So that's all very difficult. So it says, Kalo tad Hari Kirtana. Akrite yad, yad means yofal, Satyug by meditation, Treta Yuga by yagya, and Dwapar Yuga by very opulent murti worship. Kalo tad. It says tad, that means wahifal. Jofal that they got, then that wahifal, not that some little tiny fal you'll get. He said, Kalo tad, that same result can be achieved, even more. Even better result will be achieved by this Harinam Sankirtan. By this Harinam, we will get Krishna Prem. That is even higher than getting all the Purusharths. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Premo Pumarta Maha. We know the people perform dharma then in order to get lots of money, and then they enjoy their senses, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Then they try for moksha. But beyond that is Krishna Prem. And so by this chanting, just like we know that verse, what is it? I can't remember how it begins. Hey Rajan, this Akalo dosini de Rajan asteko mahaguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. So kaler doshini de. Didi means ocean. So this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Kalo doshini de. Oh Rajan, oh king, this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Astyeko mahaguna. Still, there's one great quality. Are? How is that possible? When there's an ocean of faults, maybe some little tiny little good quality could come up, but it says mahaguna. There's one great quality of this Kali Yuga. Kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. That simply by Krishna Kirtan, specifically mentions, not Kali Kirtan, Shiva Kirtan, Kirtana deva Krishnasya. There we got Krishnasya. Krishna Kirtan, we say. Should be Krishnasya Kirtan. Kirtana deva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambraje. We will go to Braj. We will get Braja Prem. But that is the real fruit of chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. So in this Kali Yuga, all the different types of sacrifices are not recommended. It is recommended that one chant the holy name of Krishna. And we've heard there's no hard and fast rules. And then we wonder, then why are we following four regular principles? There's no hard and fast rules. Not like that. Uh, hard and fast rules are generally there for Desha, Kala, and Patra. But it doesn't matter whether you're qualified, unqualified, any place, any time, you can chant the holy name. Anywhere, any person. Just like these sacrifices, they had to have qualified Brahmins, just like Yudhishthira is bringing, it says, just like the gods. They were just like demigods, these Brahmins. Hmm? So, but you don't have to, and mainly Vedic mantras can only be chanted by the Brahmins. So no qualification, doesn't matter who you are. You may be a Sudra, you may be anything. You're allowed to chant this, the holy name of Krishna. That type of no rules and regulations. Therefore it's stressed, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. Kalu anasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatirani. 3 times it says, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. That's simply by chanting, simply by chanting, simply by chanting the holy name. Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. There's no other process, there's no other process, no other process. Kalua, in this Kali Yuga. Just like people immediately get upset. Why are you so narrow-minded? Only chanting Hare Krishna, you're narrow-minded. No, this is intelligence. Just like if we're suffering from some disease, do we go to the medical shop and we say, I'm sick, give me some medicine? Well, what medicine you want? Well, they're all nice medicines, give me any medicine. Do we do that? No, first we go to the doctor, he finds out what we're suffering from, then he recommends a particular medicine for that disease. Just like suppose I'm suffering from diabetes. And for the children, they really don't like to take medicine. So what do? They put a lot of sugar. They coat it with sugar, or they mix a lot of sugar in the medicine, so that the children will take their medicine. But for me, that medicine will be poison. I'm suffering from diabetes. That medicine will be poison. It's a good medicine, approved by the government, recommended by doctors, but for me, it will be poison. I have to take the medicine that's particular for my disease. Jai Sisi Nitai Gaur Sundar. You're all so lucky to worship such wonderful lords here. I'm so happy to, I was so shocked when I walked in the temple room today. So you're very lucky to be able to serve these wonderful lords. So, one tiny little word in this sloka, kalua, that we're all suffering from this disease of Kali Yuga. So in this Kali Yuga, Gyan, Dhyan, Karma, they will not work. Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. Only chanting the holy name, that will help us in this dark age of Kali Yuga. So that we're going to hear this wonderful pastime. We're finally, Sisipal, after insulting Lord so many times, finally he's going to get it. This is one of the most famous pastimes in all of Mahabharata. So, because people in this dark age of Kali, Manda Sumanda Mati, they're always very lazy, unintelligent, disturbed, Mandabhagya, their luck is very bad. So for this Kali, we have very simple process of chanting the holy name. Very special. And like I said, there's no rule and regulation. Just like one time, Lord Chaitanya, he had one boy, little boy, who was his servant named Gopal. And Gopal was serving him in so many ways. Now, when we go to Vrindavan, we're very particular to get a room with attached bath, has to have attached bath. But in old days, that was something you did outside the house. So in Braj, the signal that I have to go to the bathroom is go to the jungle. So Mahaprabhu, he went to the jungle. So Gopal was sitting there with a pot of water to wash his hands. So when he returned, he saw that Mahaprabhu was holding his tongue like this. And so little boy, he can ask any question without any shyness. So he said, Prabhu, why are you holding your tongue like this? Why are you holding your tongue like this? And Gopal said, And Mahaprabhu said, well, I'm going to a dirty place to do a very dirty thing. And this tongue, he never stops. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, he always start chanting. So I hold him like this. So little boy, he can ask any type of question. So he said, and Prabhu, that time you leave your body, kya hoga? What will happen? Huh? So Mahaprabhu said, oh, Gopal, you've become my guru. You've become my guru. So he became known as Gopal Guru, very great acharya in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. So anywhere you can chant even in that place you can chant the holy name. There's no hard and fast rules in that way. So we're trying to, especially now this is this month of Prabhupada Marathon, we're trying to bring as many people as possible in contact with Krishna consciousness and chanting the holy name. So all the devotees are running here and there and trying to distribute this nectar to all the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga. Very simple process, you just chant. Just like on Facebook the other day, I saw somebody posted one letter that Prabhupada wrote to me when I was temple president of Portland. He said, if they even touch our books, they'll be benefited. What if we could purchase them or read them? He said, even if they touch our books, they'll be benefited. So I read that letter to all the devotees in the morning after Mangalarti. So all the devotees were very enthused to go and did book distribution. So one devotee, some person came to him and he gave him a donation because he liked us somehow or another. So the devotees here, please take a book. He said, no, I don't want to. I just like you guys, so you take this donation. No, take a book. No. Well, touch it. Said, touch it. So he touched the book and he walked away a few steps. Then he turned around and came back and said, oh yeah, give me that book. So the devotees there running here and there trying to make because Mandabhagya, they're very unfortunate. It's Kali Yuga to be born in Kali Yuga, very bad fortune. But somehow we're trying to make them all fortunate. Just like one time Prabhupada was explaining that only in previous ages one had to perform so many sacrifices, so many pious activities. Then finally he would get the chance to associate with pure devotee of the Lord. And so the devotees, they said, but Prabhupada, all we did was sinful activities. You don't want to know about us before we became devotees. We crashed Yamaraja's hard drive trying to keep track of our sinful activities. And Prabhupada said, yes, I have created your fortune. So now it is your duty to go and create fortune for others. So we have this whole month specially dedicated to making other people fortunate. We're fortunate. We're having so good, it's so amazing. In the morning we were just dancing like madmen and having such a good time. We want everyone to have this wonderful time. This is a real wonderful time. Just like one time, I was in Los Angeles. I came down from Portland because Prabhupada was in LA. And we went on the morning walk. And there was one young boy. He was from some place like Arizona or someplace. At that time, we had no temple there. But he got a book in the airport in LA. And then he started writing and he got some japa beads. He started chanting. He got the mantras for offering boga. So he was taking prasad and everything. Then because they were corresponding with him, they wrote and said, Prabhupada's coming to LA. If you can come, be nice. So he came out to LA. So we invited him specially to come on the morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada used to go down to Venice Beach sometimes and walk on the beach. So Prabhupada was walking along and the boy said, Prabhupada, I heard that wherever a pure devotee stays, all material enjoyment goes away. And Prabhupada stopped and he planted his cane in the sand and he looked around to see who asked the question. He says, we do not say do not enjoy. We do not say do not enjoy. Just like you were in the class this morning, hearing the philosophy of Krishna. Yes, Prabhupada. That was not enjoyable? Oh, yes, Prabhupada. That was very enjoyable. And you were not in the kirtan, chanting and dancing? Oh, yes, Prabhupada. Yes. That is very enjoyable. So we don't say do not enjoy. Just like he said, we say you enjoy like a human being. Just like this drink all night and dance in the disco club. This is enjoyment? Oh, no, Prabhupada. No, that is enjoyment like cat and dog. So we don't say don't enjoy, we say you enjoy like a human being. Chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, seeing the most wonderful deities. This is a real enjoyment. Enjoyment like a human being. So we want to bring everyone to this, to give up their false enjoyment and come to this real enjoyment. So we're distributing these books everywhere because I was describing the other day in one class how Raghunath Das Goswami has a very nice verse. He says, Karunaya Vidravad Deha. He's describing Srimati Radharani. So he says, Karunaya. We know Karuna means compassion. So Karunaya means from compassion. Karunaya Vidravad. Vidravad means to melt. And Deha means body. So ordinary living beings, their hearts melt with compassion, but Srimati Radharani, her whole body melts with compassion. And Prabhupada has taken those melted drops of Radharani's compassion and kept them in these books. And this month, devotees are going and sprinkling the drops of Radharani's compassion on all the fallen souls, like that. And we were discussing the other day, we were describing about Radhakund. So there's one place where Radhakund and Shyamakund joined together, that is called the Sangam. And one time Prabhupada was in Agra selling his medicines, and he knew that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was staying in Radhakund. So he came by bus to Radhakund, and he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And one day they were walking on that Sangam, because he used to like to walk, Bhaktisiddhanta used to like to walk there and chant his japa. So they were chanting, and Prabhupada was walking with him. And he told him that, Abai, if you ever get money, print books. So the Sangam at Radhakund is where book distribution was born. It's like everyone always talks about Radhabhav, Radhabhav, Radhabhav. So many Babas there in Radhakund, they're pretending that they've become gopis. Mostly they're sleeping. They go to the Bandara, they eat puri and sag, then they come back and they chant Zed mantra. Zzz, zzz. But the real Radhabhav is to go out and distribute Radharani's mercy to all the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we're in Radhakund. We can mention one pastime in Radhakund. There's one time, Raghunath Das Goswami, since we're talking about him, he was living on the bank of Radhakund and Shyamakund, mainly on Shyamakund. For more than 45 years he stayed there. And he saw that in the future, Srila Prabhupada will preach this Krishna consciousness all over the world, and people will come to Radhakund. And we know when Mahaprabhu discovered them, they were just paddy fields, Kali and Gauri. And Mahaprabhu took his bath in whatever water was there and revealed Radhakund and Shyamakund to the eyes of the world. So he thought in the future so many devotees will come from America, from Russia, from Italy, from France, from Germany, from England, from China even, from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, from all over the world, what to speak of all over different parts of India, from Karnataka, from Orissa, from Andhra, from Tamil Nadu, from everywhere people will come here. And there's no proper ghas or no proper, the kunds are not very deep. So he thought, if I ever got some money, then I would fix up the kunds. Then he thought, oh, I'm thinking about money again. Because we've read in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Raghunath, he had opulence greater than the king of heaven. His father, we were at Srimad-Bhagavatam, he was earning 20 lakhs of rupees. Back in the days when 1 rupee would buy your groceries for the whole month. He was earning, he would be beyond a crorepati at this time. And he had wife more beautiful than a Apsara. But he was always running away to join Lord Chaitanya. His mother told her husband that you tie him with ropes. He said, these things can't tie him up. What will my useless rope do? So he thought, oh no, again I'm thinking about money. He took Mohandrat. So, meanwhile, one businessman from Kolkata, he went to Badrinath to give a big donation there. In the evening, in his dream, Lord Badrinarayan came. He said, don't give this donation here. You go to Vrindavan, you find out Radhakund, and you find out Raghunath Das, and you give this donation to him. But he will not take it. Then you tell him that Lord knows his desire to fix up the kunds. So somehow or other he got to Vrindavan, which wasn't easy. There wasn't Indigo Airlines in those days. Somehow or other he got to Vrindavan, and there wasn't Papu's taxi service to take you to Radhakund. Somehow or other he got to Radhakund. He found out Raghunath Das Goswami there, and he told him, I have big donation for you. And Raghunath was not like us. As soon as we hear big donation, oh yeah. Raghunath said, look, you take your money and for wherever you came from, you go back. I don't want to see it. He said, but Lord knows your desire to fix the kunds. And he said, all right, give it here. So we should be anxious to collect donations for service of the Lord. Nothing, Prabhu says, not one farthing for sanskrit. So when he knew it was for the service of the Lord, he engaged that man. You hire some workers, you dig out the kunds, and you make nice ghats for everyone. So then he made nice, dug out the kunds and made nice ghats for everyone, like this. So this is our, we're following our acharyas because we want to, if we want to go to the mela, or we want to go to the park and have a good time, then we can go. But if we want to take everyone with us, then we have to make some nice arrangements. So this is our sampradaya. We want to make arrangements for everyone to join this Krishna consciousness. So therefore, every year we have this Prabhupada marathon. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So there's a few minutes left. If anybody has any questions, I can try to answer those questions. Hare Krishna. Yes, way in the back there. Is there a microphone or just he's going to shout? Okay, here comes Bhakta Mike.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we see that in Vrindakund there is a lot of parrots up there. Can you tell something about the parrots in Vrindakund?
Well, the parrots, that's Vrindadevi's mobile with complete coverage of Braj. Because you see in her hand, her right hand is giving blessing, in her left hand there's a little yellow parrot. Because previously in Braj there was red and yellow, green and blue, orange, so many parrots. They all flew away to Australia. If you go to Australia, you can see so many different colored parrots. But in Braj only we have the green ones. But he's a yellow parrot, and his name is Daksh. And he has lakhs of parrot disciples, and they go all over Braj and come back and tell Vrindadevi everything that's going on. So she has, this is her mobile to get complete coverage of Braj. So the parrots, you'll see always coming and going, and they're telling Vrindadevi what's going on, who's going where, who they're going with, what they're saying, what they're about to do. Everything Vrindadevi knows, because just like we don't offer anything to Krishna without Tulsi leaf. So Biswanath Chakravarti Thakur, he describes Vrindadevi as the Leela Shakti. Without Vrindadevi's hand, no Leelas are going on in Braj. So this is how she keeps track of everything. All these little parrots tell her, and they send messages. And sometimes they have arguments. Mahaprabhu, when he was in Bhulavan, he saw the parrots on a tree, and the one parrot was saying that Amar Krishna Madana Mohan and Satyavati, Sari Boli Satyavati, I can't remember exactly now. Only because Radharani is standing by his side. Otherwise, what is his attraction? And it says, Amar Krishna, Jagatera Jivan. My Krishna is the life of the universe. And Sari Boli, Amar Radha, Jivanera Jivan. My Radha is the life of the life. My Krishna, he's standing by the Kadamba tree. And Sari Boli, yes, because Radharani is standing there. Otherwise, why will he go there? Amar Krishna, Jagatera Guru. Amar Radha, Bancha Kalpa Taru. No, Neto Keka Guru. My Radharani, she's a desire tree. Otherwise, what will the Guru do? The Guru can't fulfill the desire of his disciples, then he's useless. So he's only Jagatera Guru because Radharani is Bancha Kalpa Taru. Amar Krishna, Bame Hoila Mukhat. Sari says, yes, it's going down to touch Radharani's feet. Like this. So sometimes they have, finally they said, what is the use of all this argument? Radha Krishna are two, they're one. Let us just chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Recently, I visited Vrindavan. When we were in Barsana, there's a more kuti is there. The beautiful pictures are there. So I heard before that this is made by a blind man, a devotee, who Radharani.
I always used to hear that,
Yeah.
and I repeated it, but one time, when the Bujari, or the sadhu who lives there, he understood English. He said, not blind. He was a devotee from Nimbarka Sampradaya, because we see the sadhus that stay there, they're from Nimbarka Sampradaya. And he was an artist, and he saw this Leela, and Radharani blessed him, that if you make a painting, then you will see this Leela going on before your eyes while you paint. So it was painted by a very nice sadhu from Nimbarka Sampradaya, who was an artist.
Okay. I don't know. I thought this is the way.
I know everybody says blind, but when he understood what I was saying, all the sadhus became very angry.
They became angry on me also. I'm fearful that time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question nahi hai, Prabhu, seeking the blessings. You said, Ke Harinam, even every fallen soul, get elevated. So, being one of them, I am just begging your mercy that hum Harinam achhe se kar sake, because that is the only way that is you're saying, right? So, Harinam अच्छे से कर सके एंड अपने गुरु वर्गों की उनके प्लेजर के लिए अच्छे से सेवा कर सके. That is all I.
No, everybody's chanting very nicely. It was so ecstatic. Everybody dancing and jumping.
And anything that
You already have Prabhupada's mercy, so no. I'm just a little toad. He's a great swan. I'm just a little toad in the pond. He's a great swan in the lake. So Prabhupada is giving you his mercy. Especially he manifesting this beautiful temple here. Already you have the most beautiful Gaur-Nita I have seen in the whole universe. So you just beg them for their mercy. They're there. See, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they have one hand. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan. With one hand, they're bringing the Premadana from Golok. And with the other hand is like this, they're giving. Take, 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 take. Okay. One time, I had a godbrother named Kartikeya, who's no longer in this world. So you won't find this pastime in any memory tapes or anywhere, because he's no longer in this world. But he personally told me this story. He was Prabhupada's servant. And maybe his ancestry was Indonesian or something. He had Oriental complexion and Oriental looks. And he was very, very gentle and very sensitive devotee. One time, and he would do massage for Prabhupada, and Prabhupada really relished his massages. And Prabhupada said, there's two people. One is the blacksmith. He has a big hammer, and he goes bang, he said. And then in the goldsmith, just like yesterday, we were somewhere where there's a goldsmith shop, and somebody was going ting, 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 ting. And the goldsmith is going ting, 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 ting. So he said, when I have time, then you do goldsmith massage. Huh? And when I'm in a hurry, then you do blacksmith massage. And he said, oh, Swamiji, you deserve always goldsmith massage. And Prabhupada said, Hare Krishna. So anyway, they one time went to Hawaii. First time Prabhupada went to Hawaii. So Kartikeya was cooking. And one day it rained. So when it rained, Prabhupada used to like to take halava because it's full of ghee and grains and makes you nice and warm. So just a few days before, Govindadasi, our famous god sister, by whose mercy we introduced Tulsi worship in our society. So my old god sister, Govindadasi, she came back from the market and she brought something called wheat germ. Now, I never met anybody in Bharat who knew what wheat germ was, but it's a product of the wheat. Those little, you open up the kernel, you see there's a little thing and two little leaves. If you just extract that and you grind it, it's very, very healthy. So it's called wheat germ because that's the part that germinates. Huh? So it's called wheat germ. Anyway, the point is it wasn't suji. Whether you know what it is or not, anyway, it wasn't suji. So one day it rained, so Prabhupada asked for halava. He told Kartikeya, you make halava. So he went to the kitchen, he said, oh, I'll make the halava with the wheat germ. And Swamiji will be so pleased. So he was cooking and he was just thinking like this in his heart, that Swamiji is going to be so pleased, he's really going to like this wheat germ halava. Swamiji will be so pleased. That's his whole bhav was like that. Then he offered to the deities. He brought a bowl to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at it and said, what is this? Halava means suji. And Prabhupada with his left hand, he said, take it out. So Kartikeya's whole bhav was that Prabhupada would be so pleased. And that just destroyed him. He was just a very sensitive fellow. So he didn't know what to do. He went in the temple room. He sat in front of the picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and he was praying that I was just trying to please your spiritual son, Swamiji, but Swamiji is so upset with me, I don't know what to do. And he was crying. He was praying to Bhaktisiddhanta and crying. Suddenly he heard Prabhupada's voice, Kartikeya, Kartikeya. He ran to Prabhupada's room. He said, bring that halava. So he brought that bowl and Prabhupada with great gusto, ping, ping. He finished that whole bowl. He said, bring some more. And finished that. He finished the whole pot of halava. So Kartikeya said he learned two things from that. One, because he was praying to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and then Prabhupada called him. So Prabhupada is not alone. Behind Prabhupada, there's a whole line of spiritual masters, all the way up to the lotus feet of Krishna, just offering us a rope to get out of this deep, dark well of material existence. And second thing, Prabhupada always told that the grandfather is more merciful than the father. Hmm? So some of you are thinking that we weren't so fortunate like you. We didn't get Prabhupada's association. You're so fortunate. You're not unfortunate. You're more fortunate than us because you have Prabhupada as your grandfather guru. He'll be more merciful to you than to us. So you're most fortunate. Don't think you're unfortunate. Huh? And we see, just like Prabhuji came here, there was nobody Krishna conscious here. Now we had huge kirtan, everyone, just like this morning, everyone dancing and singing here in this horrible place called Newtown. So that's only because Prabhupada is giving more mercy to you guys than to us. Hare Krishna. So we'll put our voice to rest here. We also have a couple copies left of our book, Braj Leela Part 2. Because Part 1 is half of the Braj Prakam. They're separate. It's not that you need Part 1 because they're separate. They're just all the different Leelas along the Prakama path. So half of it is in Part 1. The other better half is in Part 2. And we just revised and improved and expanded it just about 3 or 4 months ago. And it's based on lectures that I've given. So it's not formal writing. But the way I talk, that's what you get in the book. And we're just asking small contribution of 400 rupees if anybody wants to take one. And I'm here today to sign it if you want. Hare Krishna. So if anybody wants to take a copy, then you can see Arjun and I'll sign it. Pen? Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for listening so nicely. Hare Krishna.